This program is proudly brought to you by Ebonite, reminding you to bowl to win. Let's talk bowling with Andrew Frawley. Today's session is about picking up more spares and splits. Before we join the coach today, let's review the key points from our last session on spare shooting. The 369 spare shooting system is a guide to help you work out where to stand to make those spares. Basically, if you leave pins on the left, you move to the right. And if there's a pin standing on the right, you move to the left of the approach. Just remember 369. For pins on the left, you move to the right. So, if you leave the 2 pin, you move 3 boards to the right from the centre dot. For the 4 pin, you move 6 boards from the centre dot. For the 7 pin, which is on the extreme left, you move 9 boards to the right from your centre dot. To work out where you should stand to hit the pins on the right, you need to work out where you're going to stand to hit the 10 pin. This is usually around the dot on the far left. To target the 6 pin, you move 3 boards back towards the centre. And to target the 3 pin, start at the 10 pin spot and move back 6 boards towards the centre. When shooting for pins on the left, you roll the ball over your usual strike target between the 2nd and 3rd arrow. When shooting for pins on the right, you aim between the 3rd and middle arrow from the left.
Okay, we know what to do when we leave a single pin up, but what do we do when we leave a group of pins? Right now I've left myself the 1, 3, 6 pin up. It's a group of pins. But the simple rule when we go for groups is we always go for the pin closest to us. That's the pin we line up for when we move on the approach. I've got a simple one this time because my group involves the head pin, so I don't move. I always stand on my strike target wherever the head pin or the pin directly behind it, the 5 pin, is involved in the spare. Let's line up for my strike target. Okay, that covers that group. Now we'll have another look at some other groups of pins and see where we need to move on the lane to cover those. We've talked about spares, but what about those times where we leave pins up where it just looks impossible to get? We call those splits, and that's where a split is where the gap between the pins is greater than the width of the ball. Okay, sometimes there's splits that are spareable, and some splits are just impossible to get because the pins are on either side of the deck. I've got the 310 here. The gap between the pins is wider than the ball, but I can bounce the ball off the 3 and onto the 10 pin. Let's see if I can get it. To do that, I'm actually going for the 6 pin, which is in between those 2 pins. So it's one of those tricky ones. So I'm going to line up off my 10 pin, 3 boards to the right. Let's see if we can cover the pin. All right, that's how we get those spareable splits. I'm pretty happy with that one. Okay, I've bowled that shot. My ball's gone directly on that head pin, and I've left myself the big 4, we call it, the 4, 6, 7, 10. There's really no way of sparing it, so the best thing to do is just go for a count, just go for the 2 pins. Pick either side you feel comfortable with. I feel pretty comfortable going for the pins on the right. So the 6 pin is the front pin, so I'll line up for that one. So that's 3 boards to the right where I normally line up for my 10 pin. Count it out. Feet pointing towards the pins. Okay, don't forget, when you've got a split and it's impossible to get, just go for the 2 pins and it'll always look good at the end of the game. Now let's get out there and have some practice of shooting those spares.
When you're aiming for a group of pins, You work out where to stand by looking at the number of the front pin. Target that pin according to the 3-6-9 system. And that's what we're going to practice today.
All right, good shot, Ashley. We've got ourselves a group of pins. The pin closest to us is the 2 pin. So we need to go for that pin to cover the other 2 pins.
Okay.
So based on our 3-6-9 spare shooting system, how many boards do we need to move?
That would be 3 boards to the right.
That's good stuff. All right, grab your ball. Count out the 3 boards from where we stood on our strike target. That's it. Okay, we're going for the 2 pin through our strike line. Great shot. You got the 2 pin, that was good. The reason why we just missed the group of pins, because we just missed our strike target just a little bit to the left.
Yep.
The ball went to the left, but that's okay. Let's see if we can pick up these pins. Great shot, perfect. You went through your strike line and you covered the 2 pin and the ball took out the other 2 pins. That's how we get those groups of spares.
That one.
Good stuff. You know, bowling's a load of fun, and it's even better when you can knock more pins over. Hopefully, those last few sessions you picked up some tips. It's going to help you become a better bowler. I hope to see you on the lane sometime. Good luck and high scoring. See ya.